all struggle with this. We all need the encouragement and the push. You know, in this photo makes me sad because when I think about this kid, right, he's standing there. The longer he looks, the more he thinks about it, the less likely he's going. Imagine the difference that a push makes. Imagine a coach behind him, right? Right? A coach going, come on, Sammy, you got this, buddy, you got this, or an older brother. The problem is in life, usually there's nobody there to push you. It's up to you. That's why the 5-second rule is your new best friend. This is what you're going to use to push yourself. The moment you have an instinct to act on a goal, you know you should do something, but you don't feel like getting out of bed. I don't care, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You don't feel like being nice to your spouse. I don't care, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Use this for behaviors that you need to do, and for those things that are emotional, that are killing you, drinking too much, eating a bunch of garbage, smoking, gambling, addiction. When you feel the emotion drawing you towards it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, physically move away from it. What is this actually doing in your mind when you count backwards? It's pretty remarkable how such a simple thing does something extraordinary. When you start counting backwards, it is an action. When you start counting backwards, it requires focus. When you start counting backwards, you are manually switching the part of the brain that you're using. You're activating your prefrontal cortex. You're interrupting the habit loops of self-doubt, of procrastination, of fear, of anxiety. And you are taking control, 1 5-second decision at a time. It truly is that simple. I didn't say it was easy, but it is this simple. And it's not going to be easy because you're going to fight yourself. Now, there are 3 ways that you can use this. We've heard of literally hundreds of thousands of ways. We've heard of from hundreds of thousands of people in 90 different countries that are using this rule. And they fall into kind of 3 buckets. You can use this rule to change any behavior. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself to do something that you know you need to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, pull yourself away from something that you know you should not be doing. You can use it for courage. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, step into that risk. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, push yourself outside your comfort zone. And the most important way you can use it is you can use it for mind control. This one matters the most to me, so let me explain to you how to use it. So a lot of people see me on stage or on CNN and they're like, ooh, that chick was just born very confident and very annoying. And I know you laugh because it's true. Not true. I suffered from panic attacks for over 20 years. They started when I was 19 years old. They got so bad that I was on Zoloft. It was a miracle drug for me. And as I started to use the 5-second rule to literally, change everything, to go from facing bankruptcy to running multi-million-dollar companies, joining the teams at CNN, being a contributor to Dr. Oz and Success, changing my marriage and how I behaved, changing my health habits, changing everything. Because what the rule does is it gives you control over your decisions. It gives you control over those 5-second moments that change everything for you, because in those 5-second moments, it's where all the opportunity and the joy in your life is. So I wondered about 5 years ago, I wonder if you could use this simple, stupid, brilliant rule to cure yourself of anxiety. The answer is yes, you can. So I've been off meds for 5 years. I haven't had a panic attack since. Hell, I don't even worry about anything. Yes. Because I have used this rule to completely rewire how I think. You're going to hear a lot about mindset today. You want to adopt a growth mindset, you want to change your habits, this is a starting ritual that you can use for any of them. Let me explain how you do it in the mental game. So, have you ever noticed how your thoughts drift, right? You're sitting in a meeting and suddenly your thoughts are like, blah, 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 garbage, 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 you suck, 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 right? Whatever it is. The second that you get your thoughts drifting, you're going to go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and yank them back here. Now, the counting backwards is essential. It doesn't work to just try to change your thoughts. Inserting the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 interrupts the pattern of bad talk to yourself and self-doubt and anxiety. It awakens your prefrontal cortex so your brain is ready to receive a new thought. I'm going to use an example that we can all relate to explain specifically how to do this, because I think this is so important. I used to be a nutcase about flying. I would get to the airport and I'd be in the boarding area and I'd be looking for Bishop T.D. Jakes, and I'd be looking for babies and men and women in uniform, because I would say, if they're getting on my plane, God is not letting this go down. So then I'd get on the plane and I would buckle up, and then I'd start to feel the panic rising. And as soon as we take off and the plane does that scary thing where you get up and then all of a sudden it feels like it's like turning off as it's leveling off, then I would start to panic and I would pull out my phone and I would start texting my children, Mommy loves you, emoji, emoji, emoji. Because if I'm going to die in a plane crash, I want the kids to know that as my last act as a human being was to be the best mom on the planet. And then plus they've got it for the eulogy when they do the PowerPoint so they can prove it to everybody. And you giggle. You giggle because we're sick human beings. We're all sick, right? If we were to put a speaker on your head and broadcast the garbage you say to yourself, you wouldn't be at Success Live. You'd be in an insane asylum, for crying out loud. But here's the problem. We listen to it. We listen to it. You let it rob you of your precious lifetime. You let it keep you from stepping into your greatness. You let it stop you from saying what you really believe. You don't have to. The second you catch yourself thinking anything that doesn't serve you, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, take control. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, insert a different thought. You can change how you think 5 seconds at a time. Do not ever underestimate your power to change the things that matter most to you. This is one of the most shared stories in the history of social media. A lot of you are going to recognize this. This is Brittany and her dad, Todd. Now, what you can't tell from this story is that it's been a horrible decade for this family. You see, Brittany's dad and her mom got divorced, and it's been an ugly divorce. A lot of fighting, and the new spouses can't stand each other. Well, today is Brittany's wedding day, and Todd is walking his new wife up the aisle, and he has this inner wisdom kick in. And he says to himself, today I'm going to heal this family. Doesn't stop and think. He turns, he walks back down the aisle, and instead of grabbing his daughter, he grabs her stepfather, a man he hates. I mean, look at the expression on the lady next to them, for crying out loud. And he invites him to walk their daughter down the aisle. 5 seconds changes everything. And I can tell you firsthand, because we interviewed this family for CNN, it certainly changed this one. So whether you are going to use the rule to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of your head and start that nonprofit you've been thinking about for 2 decades, or you're just going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get yourself out of bed because you said you would, or you find yourself in one of the darkest places of your life, like Adam did. So on March 1st, Adam was over in London. He's a lawyer over there, and he was sitting with a bottle of pills, and he was 3 pills in, and his inner wisdom kicked in. He knew that this was not the answer, and he also knew the 5-second rule. And he went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he got up, and he got in his car, and he drove to his doctor's office, and he had the courage to listen. He had the clarity to seek help. And he's been using it ever since. And it's like he has a friend with him. And he uses it to not interrupt judges when he gets mad. And as he writes to us, he says it's not only literally saved his life, but he's actually doing pretty good. And I'd like to introduce you to him, because he's flown here. Come on up. I am so proud of you. Don't ever doubt your ability to change your life.